Okay, hello, uranium friends. So let's check in on URG since they've had a financing. Now, if you've looked at my Encore and global financing video, I'm kind of approaching it the same way, but I've dug a little deeper into URG and let's see what we come up with. So here's the life of the stock. All right. And again, if you guys haven't seen what I do, the volume profile here, that's all this volume here on the left side of the chart. These blue lines are what are referred to as the value area high and the value area low. This is all mathematical. It's based on this indicator. So it's the settings on this indicator. I have these blue lines up to show you. It's kind of the range box. Now, just so we can see, this is kind of a review if you've looked at Encore already. When we start to zoom in, the value areas will change depending on whatever action is on the chart at the moment, okay? So, but at the moment, we're looking at the life of the stock, and we're looking at it in log scale on the monthly. So we've had a financing, a private placement. I believe, what was it, dollar 18 with a warrant for which enables a half a share. Okay, so we've talked about this before, and you can go back to my Encore and Global videos if you want. If not, we're just going to do it here anyway. So, it's $1.18. So I automatically assume that there's a broker discount, and there is, by the way, and we will talk about that. I will show it to you in the prospectus. Um, so, I'm always dropping stink bids down 10 to 15% below. It's kind of like a standard move for me. All right. So, but, as an aside, my global plan on Global Atomic, my stink bid did hit wherever I put it 10 or 15% below. It did hit after that wonderful lawsuit news. Regardless of that, we're talking about URG. So here it is. Here's the life of this stock. And you can see, it's trading in this pretty about $1 range, right? 50 cents to $1.50. Okay, so there's $1 range. Um, so the first thing I look at is the point of control. Now you can see this volume bar that extends all the way out here. Yeah, well, that's the point of control. What's the value of the point of control? $1.16. Where is the stock trading around for the past, I don't know, since the summer of 22, even more so. You can even go back since March of 21. It's trading right around the point of control. Okay, so now this other white line that I put in here, well, this is just technical analysis stuff, right? So this is my own personal line, but you can see it makes a lot of sense in the life of this stock, right? So yeah, resistance, resistance, resistance for months, 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 resistance. Finally gets through, off to the races, right? Then becomes a little bit of support here. Yeah, there's undercuts, of course, and starts dancing around this level again. Resistance, 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 gets through, support, breaks down, resistance, resistance, resistance. Then you have your full breakdown. Okay, whatever happened then happened. Couple of jumps up there, all resistance, more breakdown, gets through it again, and now it's acting as support. So bottom line is that this 99-cent level, let's just for all intents and purposes call it $1. I mean, that is our spot for the stock, right? I mean, it's just that simple. Forget about all your fundamentals and all that stuff. The chart is telling you $1, 99 cents is the spot for this stock. Okay, so now I ran some fibs here. Okay, from this absolute low to the high of November 2021, right? So that Fibonacci retracement, the 38% retracement on the log scale, ends up right at 97 cents, right where this line is in the vicinity of this point of control. Now, if we go to linear, you might see a little bit of a different look. Now, in the linear, I haven't touched these Fibonacci retracements, but on the linear, you can see that we've tapped the golden pocket. So this will have some importance later on as we talk about this. But, if you're working off linear on this stock in the life of the stock, well, and off of this run, well, it's using this golden pocket as support. And as traders, we love to see these golden pockets. We call them a golden pocket because it's usually a bounce area or a rejection area. So, but we're working on it under the assumption of this fib run. So we're working on it as a support area. So really, the bottom line is 93 cents is the absolute bottom of this golden pocket support area in linear scale. So in log scale, it's the linear golden pocket is at the log 38% retracement. Regardless of that, going back to linear, Fibonacci traders look at it this way. Okay, I've gotten a bounce off of the golden pocket. My implied move is to the 61% fib extension, which lo and behold, mathematically is 330, lines up with the all-time high, 337. So am I saying it's getting there? No, I'm saying that this is what the Fibonacci guys look at. If they trade Fibonacci's, there's guys that use a Fibonacci on a 5-minute chart, and they're going to be looking for that extension. Most won't make it up to that extension. So if we're in log now, we're at the 38%. That we're really between the 23 and the 38% retracement here. And on log, from the 23% retracement, if you get that extension, it's 350. It's the same basic level, right? The 330 to 350 range on both the extensions on both of the charts. So we like to see stuff like that when it happens. Um, it gives you a reasonable look at what you might want to be looking at, or where should I take profits, or where's there confluence of technical indicators. So we're starting to see it on the fibs, in the linear and the log. You've got, again, a linear bounce off the golden pocket, or working on a linear bounce off the golden pocket, which implies a fib extension to 330. Off the linear, it's a bounce off the 38% retracement, or the 23 in that area, which can imply a 350 area. So am I saying it gets there anytime soon? No, I'm not saying that at all, unless something insane happens in the sector in general. So that's just a look at the life of the stock and its trading range. So where are we on the log as far as this value area of the volume profile? Well, we're kind of towards the top of it. It's not horrible, it's not great. It's just what it is. Okay. For me, URG has always been the $1 level is the spot for me. So I think about this, and when this financing comes in, I start to look at the details. So the first thing I've done, we'll go back to the chart, is I went to their site and I came into the SEC filings, and then I came to this prospectus. It's just an amended prospectus of what they've had out. So let's just look at what's pertinent. Now, again, I'm not like Mr. Finance, so I don't do this stuff for a living. I never have. I'm not like the best at reading prospectuses, but you got to have a little bit of a clue when you approach these financings, especially if you're playing in a speculative space like junior mining and uranium. It doesn't get more speculative than that, right? So here's the deal. The offering is right here. Okay, so 17 million shares, $1.10 per share with a half a warrant. All right. You're going to see now, if we go to, what page was that? That was page 8. So on page 7, you can look, and this is their contracts, right? So this is what started to get me thinking about what's going on here, because they did say something to the effect of, to fund ongoing operations and the ramp up of Lost Creek, and to the possibility of some acquisitions. So I'm like, well, why are they looking at acquisitions? Well, guess what? Lost Creek is licensed for 1.2 million pounds, and they basically have 600,000 pounds. Let me just per year starting in 2024. So to me, and I'm not a mining guy, I'm not a finance guy, and I would hope that someone who maybe is looking at this video says, no, I know the real answer, and you can give me a heads up on it. But to me, 600,000 pounds per year starting in 2024, with a mine that is licensed for 1.2 million pounds. Well, they need to do something about that, right? So they either need to get Lost Creek expanded, or maybe Shirley Basin, right? So Shirley Basin is another one that they have, and we're gonna, as I was digging, this is what I found. So, correct me anywhere fundamentally where I'm wrong on this. So, To me, it says, all right, well, these guys either need to make an acquisition, and they've kind of said it in this press release, or they need to expand Lost Creek and or Shirley Basin. So that just kind of led me to this. And I went to Google and I just basically said, who has uranium mines in Wyoming? Because where is URG? Well, they're in Wyoming. So this is their infrastructure is there. So it would make sense that if they wanted to make an acquisition, they would want to be looking in Wyoming. So here's the list. Again, just Google um, who has uranium mines in Wyoming, and this is what's going to start coming up. So, as you can see, I've clicked. So, you have these Aladdin, Crook County, whatever, or Zarga. You start clicking on these companies that have them, and you know what? Most of these mines and properties are spoken for, right? So, Energy Fuels is a pretty good foothold in Wyoming. UEC has a pretty good foothold in Wyoming. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking, well, who can, who's a prospect for these guys to buy? So even if you just click on something like this and you go, okay, Urine's Energy, whatever it is, who's the number one shareholder? Oh, UUU has 100% of it. That's not good. They're not buying that, are they? So, you can dig around on this, but here's what's struck me as interesting, okay? Like, where can I maybe speculate and take advantage of this supposedly UR Energy? Well, here's one, okay? Peninsula, right? They have a property here. And the other one, which I've been kind of eyeing up, and I've said in multiple videos and on Uranium Talk, Anfield Energy. So, to me, these are the two that I'm going to be looking at as possibilities that URG is looking to acquire their properties. Then it would take some time to, okay, now I got to dig into Anfield Energy. But wait a second. UROY just signed a deal with Anfield Energy for offtake and royalty and streaming with them. Huh, maybe they see something, right? So this is just a little bit of detective work. Um, I'm leading you down this road. This is as deep as I'm going in this video. This is what I would do. It's what I've done. So, I don't really go nuts though in trying to dig in deep on all these fundamentals because I just know how these things go. So, back to the prospectus. So, that was so we were talking about this was their contracts. This is what they've contracted out. Um, and that was page 7 for their contract. So page 8, again, this is their pricing, and this is where I've gotten this broker discount. Where the heck is it? So the broker discount is going to be $1.10. Okay, so here's the underwriter's option to purchase up to an additional 5 million shares at $1.10 per share. Okay, and the warrants they can buy for basically nothing if they want. Okay, so who's not going to do it? Okay, page 31. So now I go down to, forgive me because I'm horrible with this stuff, but page 31. Okay, we are depleting our mineral resources and must develop additional resources to sustain ongoing operations. This is what led me to start looking at, all right, well, who else is in Wyoming? So Lost Creek, maybe they know that it just doesn't have enough to fulfill these contracts. So maybe they're looking for more money, and this could be part of it to kind of make an acquisition. I mean, this is kind of what this is my loose inference from what I've seen in this prospectus while trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. So back to the chart. Okay, we've seen um, the financing beat the bag out of them. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, so look at this drop, okay? But look, there's buying pressure here. People are buying it up here. Here's your $1.10 discount. Now, if you go back to this prospectus, let me just find one other thing. Hold on. Okay, so here you go. Look, when we talk about the broker discount, there's always discounts and commissions, right? So, listen, the public offering price, it's $1.18. Okay, but at the end of the day, what did URG receive? They received $1.11, so there's 6 cent discount and commissions, whatever you want to call it. So now they have these brokers, these underwriters, have the optionality of getting it at $1.10. So again, I'm just like, okay, well, you know what? I'm knocking off 5 to 6 cents again off of that. So that gets me down to like $1.05, $1.04. So that becomes my target. Okay, where I want to put down a stink bid. So $1.10, we can see a dollar. All these low dollar amounts are the spot, right? So these underwriters, this stuff is not random. They kind of, these are valuations. So what's happening here is that whoever's deciding to put all of this money into this company at the moment is deciding that they have a valuation of $1.10 or $1.05. Okay, but as we know with all these financings, what happens now? All these shares they're not locked up, so they're free trading. So usually, what happens is that you got to have this overhead now because these guys that got in at $1.10 or $1.18 or $1.06 or a dollar whatever, they are going to be selling those shares because they just know that they can just hang on to the warrants for free, and that's the play. So there will be pressure. And anytime it starts to get up here, you're going to have these financing guys that are going to try knocking it down. But regardless of all of that, okay, I want to get in on institutional financing. And now I know what their numbers are, right? So their numbers are basically $1.10 to, let's just say, $1.05, $1.06, $1.04, whatever you want to call it. So now when I look at the life of the chart, again, we go back to this and we have this trading, this level, this $1 level has been the spot. So what else do we have here? We have the Fibonacci. We also have this 95 cents. So you have a big base of support here. The financing is basically right at the big base of support. Here's what I know. Stink bids in at $1, $1.02, $1.05, 98 cents, whatever. Breaks down below 95, 90 cents. I'm wrong and I'm getting out. Okay. And I'll take another look at it and see how things play out. But that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I will take a piece on this financing level at around $1.10, $1.05. Maybe I'll put a stink bid in around like 98, 95 cents, right? And then maybe I'll just decide, well, I need to absorb this a little bit. So maybe I could use this monthly level here, which would be, I think it's 87 cents, right? 89 cents. So that's basically my plan. Right now, it's sitting right on the biggest part of its volume shelf. It starts to break down below it, and we have a big air pocket. So then you might not see support until this 50% retracement. That's 76 cents. I don't want to be holding the bag down there. Okay. I don't really care. Um, I don't even care if it comes down here and bounces. I'd rather wait for like the daily trend to change or something. But, the encouraging part of all of this is there's some buy-ups here. There's wicks here, right? And there's volume. Okay. Yeah, it's the financing, obviously, right? So it's a pretty decent area of support. It's right at the bottom of the value area. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of where it makes sense that this is where it's going to be. My big takeaway from all of this is that URG, I'm speculating, is going to be shopping for for an acquisition. That would be my speculation. And that's how I arrived at looking at who else is in Wyoming. And then when I started digging in, all of these companies that I clicked on, because I never, oh, Cameco owns them. Oh well, can't go for that one, right? Arzaga, well, Encore owns that. They just took that over. You're not going to get that one, right? Energy Metals, which is Energy Fuels, Kennecott, And then I started looking at these things. Well, it's an idle mine, so that's probably something that could get going. But it's Arzaga, right? So these are the things that I'm kind of looking at. You should do the same thing if you want. If you want to speculate, I mean, my takeaway is that it's going to be uh, Anfield. Anfield would be the one that I'd be looking at out of all of this, to be quite honest with you. And I've said it before, it's a highly speculative play on my part, but Anfield is kind of where I'm looking to throw some speculative priced for $0. And this kind of just, you know, kind of backs it up a little bit for me in my own mind. You have to make that decision. But as far as my plan for buying uh, URG stock, uh, yeah, I'm going to be taking some at this $5, $10 area, and I will also be putting in some stink bids down here, probably below $1. And if they get hit, they get hit. If they don't, they don't. So, and then maybe I'll just wait for, if I want to add to it again, I'm going to wait for like a daily trend change or something, right? So, you could sit here and say, all right, well, look at this bounce. Yeah, you could grab this bounce, but this, never changed the trend. So it came right back down. Never changed the trend. Came right back down. Okay, here you finally got a trend change, right? So here you finally broke through all this stuff. Then you could start tapping into it here, and then you've got that little run. So, I mean, that's how I play these things. So there's a couple of things that are lining up. Again, we've got the Fibonacci retracements on log and linear. We've got the financing at a certain number, which is $1.10, $5, $4, dollar, whatever. We have the lifetime of this stock that has shown that the 99-cent dollar level is kind of the spot where there's always contention as support and resistance. Since it's above it and it's been above it for a while, I'm expecting it to hold. And if it doesn't hold, I know I'm wrong, and then I'm getting out. And then I will reassess after the charts tell me something different, right? So these charts are not predicting anything for me. They're just telling me where my spots are. Okay, so yeah, it's just tightening up. And again, same thing with Global and Encore. You sit there and you go, oh wow, these guys have killed the stock. No, it didn't. It's in a range, and it's still in the same range. It's working off of a long, beautiful base of support at about $1, right? Of course, you have these little undercuts here and there. Undercuts like that are opportunities, in my opinion. So your base of support is basically $1. The thing's been trading in a range since February of 2021. Okay. You want to tighten up this range. Since May of 2022, it's been trading between $1 and $1.50. This financing did not change that range in any way, shape, or form. It is still just in a range. Okay. So look at the prospectus. Look at some of the clues there. Notice that there's a broker discount. Notice that they can do an over allotment at a more of a broker discount. Notice that they can basically have the warrants for free. Notice that they're free trading shares immediately. So the moment you're going to have some share overhang, because everyone who does these financings, it's basically the standard operating procedures that they sell the shares and they keep the warrants for free. So you will have overhang. Okay. Anytime it gets over $1, because they had their discount, right? Hold on. So anytime this thing gets over, $1.11, $1.18, you could expect a little bit of pressure because they're going to sell it and keep the warrants for free. Our job as traders, retail investors, the bottom of the barrel guys, is to figure out all this stuff, use our charts with the existing information to find spots where we think we can take a shot at it. And all I know is that this chart tells me that if it breaks down below 95 cents, really 89 cents, yeah, there are some dinky supports here, but look at the volume profile. The stock can break down, right? You look at the life of the stock, and it's proven that when it breaks down from this dollar level, it breaks down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Regardless of the fundamentals, regardless of what the space is doing, don't care. All I care about is that that's what this chart tells me. There's plenty of other opportunities. So if this thing breaks down below this 95 cents, I might stab at it, but I am not hanging after 89. It's just that simple. Over and out.